What's good, fellow musician? Welcome back to another producer's channel. My best free DAWs video recently got over 130,000 views, which is crazy. I never imagined this would happen. And you guys were amazing because you left a lot of comments below the video containing great feedback and also some free DAWs I missed out on. So I wanted to make this video here clarifying some stuff about some programs and mentioning some more free DAWs because I found some programs I think are worth sharing with you guys. So here we go. Whenever it comes to free music software, it's likely to stumble across Audacity. And don't get me wrong, it's a really great program. It only takes 70 MB of your hard drive space. It is open source and you can use it for several things. For example, it has got a really nice noise reduction function with which you can clean up your samples and audio files. It also lets you generate different sounds, but I would say in terms of music production, it's really not that useful. And here is why. Actually, you can use third-party effect plugins, but you cannot use VST instruments. And you might say, well, I don't need VST instruments, I just want to record myself singing or playing an instrument, and that's just fine. But again, I would say Audacity is not the best choice because it doesn't support ASIO. ASIO drivers are pretty much standard for professional audio interfaces, and they offer you a by far lower latency than the standard Microsoft drivers. So if you want to listen to yourself in real time while recording, you probably want to use a software which actually supports ASIO. There are even more disadvantages when it comes to music production. If you want to see how hard it actually is to make music with Audacity, check out Ramzoid. He made a video trying to produce with Audacity. Nevertheless, Audacity is a great tool, and if you think those features could be helpful to you, then go ahead and download it. I will leave a link in the description below. There are by far more options for Linux users than I thought, and one of them is Qtractor, which is an open source DAW that provides you with all the basics you would expect from a DAW, but nothing really beyond that. So there are no stock instruments or something like that. Nevertheless, that's really enough. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. Another great option would be Rosegarden. It is also open source and it has got a music notation feature, which allows you to write sheet music within the software. Well, I cannot write music, but as long as you can, this is probably a great advantage. Some of you guys mentioned MuLab as another alternative, but I have to say the free demo version of MuLab is not useful at all. You cannot save projects, you will get demo reminders, and you will have to restart the program after 30 minutes. Furthermore, you can only export in 16-bit. And from time to time you will hear some white noise like this. The full version of course has none of these restrictions and you can get a license for only 69 euros, which is quite a fair price. Soundtrap is another online DAW, and as you can see, they have amazing visuals on their website, but also their audio service is really good. They have different subscription plans, but you can also use their DAW for free. It looks a little bit like BandLab and it works pretty much the same way. You have over 2000 loops at your disposal, but if you need more, you can still upgrade to one of their subscription plans. They also have special subscription plans for podcast creators or for educators, teachers who might want to use Soundtrap inside their classrooms. Here's a quick beat I made using Soundtrap. Unfortunately, you can only export it in MP3. The by far most mentioned DAW definitely was LMMS. And I already knew that it's quite popular, but I did not include it because you cannot record audio in it. I went to their website, and in their documentation I found this VST list, which is quite interesting. On the bottom they have a no-go list for Windows, and I actually tried the Helm synthesizer, the TX16WX and OTT by Xfer, and they all worked fine, so probably this is a little bit outdated. At first glance, it really looks like FL Studio, and it also works similarly. Personally, I do not like the way FL Studio works, but well, everyone has their own preferences in terms of DAWs. LMMS has 15 stock synthesizers, and they sound really great, so I wanted to make a beat. I used the BPM calculator on my website to determine the BPM. Found this mallet sound I really liked, but I couldn't figure out how to enlarge the loop section, so this is basically where I stopped. I couldn't even find a solution in the documentation. It says there are blue arrows, but I couldn't find those, so maybe one of you guys can help out in the comment section. If you know the solution, please let me know. Nevertheless, LMMS has funny synthesizers like this one. Another DAW a lot of you guys brought up is Reaper. Reaper once was available for free, but nowadays you have to pay to get the software. They do have 2 different licenses, and as long as you earn less than $20,000 per year with your music, you are allowed to use the $60 license, which is really inexpensive for what you get. A reason a lot of people think Reaper is free is that you can actually download Reaper and it will start in demo mode. This means that you are allowed to use Reaper for 60 days for demo purposes, and whenever you open up the program, it will show this window here where it's also stated that Reaper is not free. You can close this window after 3 seconds, and even when the 60 days are over, you can still use Reaper to its full extent. But while you are technically able to use Reaper, you are not allowed to use it legally. I was really curious about why they actually give out a fully functional version of Reaper, so I reached out to Cocos and they replied to me with this message. You can stop the video right here and read through it if you want to, but basically they are saying that they are giving out the fully functional version of Reaper for the people that need a longer evaluation time and for their paying customers who do not have to prove that they are a legitimate owner of the software each time they are using it. As a Cubase user, I have to have my Eli sensor dongle plugged in every time I use Cubase, which is really a pain in the arse, so I really appreciate that you do not have to do this with Reaper. Besides, it's an awesome DAW, so if you are using it, make sure to pay for it. And this does not only apply to Reaper, but also to any other software. I think if you are serious about your music, you should definitely pay for the tools which enable you to create your art. But let's be honest, I think every music producer at least thought about using pirated software. And I mean, free just sounds so much better, right? So let's get back to the free stuff. While you have to pay for Reaper, they are actually giving away 9 effect plugins for free. And I will leave a link to this in the description as well. After going through all of these DAWs, I'm mainly going to stick with my suggestion from my first video. I used Cakewalk a lot in the last days, also for the beat that you are listening to right now, and I think it's the best free DAW for Windows. For Mac, still GarageBand is the best choice in my opinion. Linux users have a lot of options because while T7 is a great DAW, a lot of you guys mentioned that they are using Ardour, and I think Qtractor is also a great alternative. In terms of DAWs for mobile devices and the browser, I still think BandLab is the best choice because it allows you to export your music in high quality. In the end, the most important thing is that you are comfortable with your DAW and that your DAW does not limit your creativity. I'm probably not going to make another video about free DAWs in the near future, but I'm working on the free VST effect plugin videos right now. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be informed whenever I upload another video. Until then, have an absolutely awesome day.